People, this is Jonathan with the All Money's Legal Podcast coming to you live right now from the studios of 99.7 Miami, officially a part of the iHeartRadio family. Download the iHeartRadio app and type in 99.7 space the Heat, DA space HEAT, Miami. For the past 2.5 years, we have been on iHeartRadio faithfully. Shout out to our iHeartRadio family. We play the dopest music in hip-hop, EDM, pop, R&B, and we also break music from some of the dopest minds in independent music. The All Money is Legal Podcast is brought to you by All Money is LLC, owned and operated by Frank Emil. This podcast was designed to speak to the artists about their marketing background, their brand, and how they move, what the dark times they've been through as an artist, scams they've been hoodwinked by, different things they've been involved in, and how they plan on changing the world with their company, man. They want to, could they have the next Rock Nation? Could they have the next Death Row? Could they have the next Bad Boy? Could they have the next Rough Riders? Could they be the next movement? On the All Money's Legal Podcast, we discuss that. I'm honored, super honored to be speaking to a young bull I have a lot of respect for. He's honest, he's consistent, and most importantly, he's humble. I love humble people. And sometimes people think humility is a weakness, but it's a supreme strength. Here's why. Humble people always win because they have an open mind, they have an open heart, and they have an open conscience to look at themselves and to examine what it is they are doing wrong and how they can make it better. 04, that's FLAMESPITTA, FLAMESPITTA 804. Is that he's a humble giant, and you're going to hear his name for a long time to come. 804, welcome to the All Money's Legal Podcast, King.
It's happening. Thank you for having me.
Listen, you know how to give you that big boy intro, man.
I appreciate it. Definitely fit for a king. I appreciate it.
No doubt. And do me a favor, man. Speak loud as you can, man.
Got you. I got you.
All right, so I'm going to step right into it. When you're an artist, like, you're literally, like, going online on Google, trying to look up stuff to, like, figure out, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Like, I think this will work. I'm going to do Reverb Nation. I'm going to do SoundCloud. I'm going to do all these different things, man. Like, in the beginning, like, what were some of the things you were trying to do to like, kind of, like, hit yourself heard and, like, get your name out there? Like, what were some of the things you paid for, you did, that you thought was going to work?
I paid for a lot of things. I tried everything under the sun. I've been recording music for a long time. Goes back to CDs, you know, and I had bought a CD burner and I was burning 500 CDs and getting them out, taking them everywhere. And then it got to the MySpace era. I was in that era. And then, you know, then I started putting it on, you know, like you say, SoundCloud, Reverb Nation, and getting out and just touching the people and just trying to send out links and whatever I could, you know, just sending people the music, trying to get it out there, making the music accessible. So just basically anything I tried, anything and everything.
Right. So I want you to be a little more detailed with that, though. I know you're doing that, but like, what were some of the marketing things you were doing? Like companies you were working with, different things you was doing to really get your name like that early on? Okay, it became.
Yeah, I had marketing companies reaching out to me, people that, you know, wanted to manage me, that saw my potential. I had a couple people that I dealt with. I got burnt a few times. I never signed any contracts or anything like that. I was always like wary of contracts, but I reached out to a lot of marketing companies, and over the course of the time that I've been doing music, I've spent a lot of music in marketing, basically paying teams to be behind the computers and push things for you. If you live in day-to-day life and you're trying to be a musician and you funding it all on your own, it don't leave you a lot of time to do the social media and to do the internet and to do the marketing, you know. But getting merch is the next step. Getting merch for my brand, trademarking my brand, things of that nature. So that's the direction I'm moving in next.
What were some of the things, and we'll definitely get to that in part 3 of the interview, what were some of the things that you got scammed on, like in the beginning?
People saying that they could give me views on social media, like Spotify, stuff like that. One time I got Spotify sent me something, you know, from using companies like that to get, you know, to basically get people to follow you or stuff like that. And so I shied away from that because I really want everything to be organic anyway, but it's like, it's a numbers game. You know, if your numbers ain't up, the algorithms ain't gonna be in your favor and the music not gonna get to where it needs to get to. You know, it's gonna kind of stay on ground level and it'll never reach the masses.
Yeah, because like a lot of artists, man, they get hit up about, oh, we can get your numbers up on YouTube and Spotify and
every day, all day long.
And then put you in all these horror stories of playlisting. on Spotify?
No, I ain't really got no horror stories with it. Like I said, I got the one message from them, and then I just was like, I'm gonna just do it the organic way. If people listen, they listen. They don't. But I'm gonna keep getting out here performing, doing these shows, and just kind of basically growing a brand by letting people see who I am, because that's what it's about now. People gotta like see who you are, what you about, what you doing, and they decide whether or not they like you enough to want to listen to your music and follow you.
Yeah, man. When you are growing a young business and you could potentially be a multi-million-dollar brand one day, there's so many different components. Like we have this video on our YouTube called The Power of Asking for Help. If you haven't watched that, make sure you watch that. It's called The Power of Asking for Help. It's a dope video, but it goes over all these different areas of having a Spotify team, an Apple Music team, an Instagram growth team, a legal team, a graphic arts team, a video content creation team, an Instagram social media management team. You know what I'm saying? Like a booking agent team. Like you got to have like 7 different teams. As an independent artist, speak to the All Money is Legal audience about the difficulties trying to juggle everything and trying to put food on your table and pay your light bill. Talk to them.
Man, it's really hard. Basically, I took a page from the late great Kobe Bryant, man. It's like you got to figure out what you're gonna sacrifice. And for me, I've never been a big sleeper anyway. I'm like 2 to 4 hours a day sleep, and sometimes I skip days. So in all those time and those hours of being up, it allows me to kind of just make up for where I'm falling short in other areas, because the music is, like I say, is really demanding. Being on social media and juggling the family, juggling the kids, it's not easy. So it's you gotta sacrifice something, And if you're gonna be a person that's super, super focused on your relationship and that's it, you're not gonna be able to do music. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not gonna work. Sometimes you're not gonna be able to be there, when people want you to be there, when family having functions and stuff like that. But you got to have tunnel vision. You got to see the end goal. And for me, I've always kept my eye on the prize and knowing that one day my music was going to be received by the people. So it was never a matter of trying to get a record deal or it was kind of like just waiting until people was ready to receive my music. And I know it's time now. Like, I feel the pulse of the music. I feel the pulse of the people in the streets. So I know it's time. So I'm just going full speed ahead.
This game is 90% business, 10% music. When you think about like everything that you have, going on, your brand, your company, like what do you envision for your company? Like, tell me, what does your brand look like? Like clothing company, like film division, like tell me what type of company do you want to operate?
I mean, basically, you hit it on the head. Like, I got talent in so many different areas. Like, I've written scripts. I got books that I'm trying to get into print, trying to get into acting, modeling, any area that I could get in, So, and I would say like 10 years from now, where I see my company is like having all the dopest artists that's under the radar that people don't give a chance on my label. They getting way more money than all the other artists. They owning they masters, you know what I'm saying? And they basically is like big top dogs in the game. Like, basically like what Dolph was trying to do with PRE, you know what I'm saying? Like, something like similar to that. It's like putting everybody on. Like, if I had $1 billion, then, I make 100 millionaires, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the kind of mindset I got. So that's how I see my company being in the future.
Let me ask you this. When you think about the grind of the business,
right,
being able to constantly create, because if you made a hit today and then you went viral and all of a sudden your stuff blowing up, you on Breakfast Club, you're on Hot 97, you everywhere, the pressure is going to be to make another record because you can't live off one success. You got to keep going. Explain to the All Money is Legal audience, how do you look at pressure? And that's part one. How do you look at pressure? Part two of the question is, have you really digested all of the responsibility that comes with constantly being great? Because you can't be great one time. You got to be great consistently. Have you thought about that?
Yeah, I've thought about it. I think a lot of pressure, though, is like self-imposed. For me, pressure makes me perform at a higher level. So I don't really think about pressure. And as far as the music goes, I don't worry about like running out of lyrics or things to say, because I'm not really trying to come up with something to trick people or convince them of nothing. I'm just giving them my story. My story is real, and I'm real, and it's always going to be that. So I'm never going to be in a situation where I got to think of what to say. I kind of just go from my heart, like what it is. I really don't even write it down. It's like in my head, I just listen to beats and I come up with it and rehearse it, and then I just go in there. It's like a feeling. So for me, I think that's a lot of artists' problem. Like, they're not all the way authentic. They're not all the way writers. They're not all the way MCs. Like, you got to be, it's so many different facets to hip hop and to being an artist. And so that's where they fall short. Like, it's only so long you can fake and pretend. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see that, like, with Drake, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like, I don't think I'm going to have that problem. I never had that problem. Like, anytime I get on a track, I'm going to kill it. Anytime I do a show, murder it. This is a business. It's not, I don't play with this. You know what I'm saying? I'm surgical with it. So at the end of the day, I ain't going to have those problems. Like, pressure, I don't feel pressure. I love it. I embrace it.
No, and don't get it twisted. You know, I supremely respect that. I respect the bravado. I definitely respect the confidence. But I will say this, just to, you know, because I consider you a humble person. There is a level of Jordan won 6 championships. He played 13 years.
Facts.
Obviously, for 7 years, he was losing. Because if you don't win, you don't win. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
But he's still a champion, though. You feel me? Like LeBron. LeBron has won 4 championships. He's been to the finals 10 times. That's nuts.
Right.
To know that a person can go to the finals 10 times, even though he's lost 6 of them, you know, Golden State, some big championships, the San Antonio Spurs, you know, stuff like that. He's won some big titles. So all I'm saying is that I think it's important to have the proper perspective of pressure.
Yeah, of course. And,
you know what I'm saying?
I think Jordan, he never stopped believing he was great. Like, even in those losing years,
For sure.
I still believe he thought he was the best player in the NBA. And in the summer, he worked harder and he got better. So, like, if I equate it to music, you know, all the years of not, you know, getting to this level or getting higher than this level, or the years when people weren't really receiving the music and it wasn't a lot of people at the shows and I was performing, what kept me going was basically knowing that I had what it took. See what I'm saying? It's like people might not see you when you're ready for them to see you. Like, they're going to see you when the God in the universe is ready for them to see you. And so I knew that day was going to come. So I never let it get me down. It was just like, all right, I got to work harder. Like, if I did a show, I ain't get a good reception, I got to work on my performance. If I did a song and people was like, oh, it was okay, but your energy was low, I got to work on my flow. So it was never a thing where I had moments where I wasn't winning or things weren't looking too bright and I hung my head. It's kind of like, okay, work harder.
Let me tap into this part here. You're a very multi-diverse and dynamic MC. I mentioned that to you before when we first met. I mentioned that to you in your visual ground with your analysis. You already know how I feel about what you're doing out here. Here's my question for you. Rap is almost like a blood sport, literally, because people die out.
Yes.
You know, I'm not laughing at people die. I'm just trying to bring light to a dark situation, because it's literally like that. When you think of this game and what it can breed to you, are you willing to, you know, like the beef, like you see with Drake and Kendrick Lamar,
Right.
You know, Drake had a bodyguard that was shot and just different things, man. Like mentally, like,
Right.
are you preparing something to eventually be in that where your family's at, you know, like your lady could be in, you know, you got to provide extra security. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to know your thoughts on it.
I mean, you got to be ready. As a man, especially as a black man in America, you got to be ready. You know, there's no other option. And for me, I've been going through stuff like that my whole life anyway. So, you know, you're going through real beef, real drama, not no rap beef, you know. And so, like, having people, you know, shooting at you and ducking bullets and all that kind of stuff, and, you know, having to be on guard. So I've already kind of been through those things. So it's not a thing where it's like I'm scared of it happening. You know, it's like, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And you can't move through life in fear, because that's going to prevent you from living, in my opinion. So I'm here to basically shine my light on the world, present my music to the world, to as many people that can get it. And I ain't worried about nothing. I ain't fearing nothing. Only thing I fear is God. I see God when I leave here. So I'm cool on all of it.
Got it. I want to talk about guerrilla marketing for a minute. You know, guerrilla marketing is like grassroots marketing. What are some of the, you know, passing out your flyers, you know, talking face to face to the people? Let's talk about your city, where you close to, you reside to. What are some grassroots marketing things that you want to do to get your name out there?
I mean, I'm kind of with, like, all of it. Nothing is, like, above me. If I got to get out and pass out flyers, like, I've done that. I went to college campuses and kind of walked around and passed out music and CDs and stuff like that. I'm not above going back to, the old fashioned ways of doing it, or even any new methods I haven't tried. Any way you can get it out, get the music out. Organically, you can get it out just in the day to day. If you out and about, you running into people, just let them know about the music. FLAMESPITTA804, look me up, check me out. A lot of people I done ran across, they'll do it right down the spots. You just got to think outside the box.
Yeah. So here's the thing. You ever heard of a company called Popple?
No.
Okay, so Popple is Popl. Popl. Popple is a company where they have devices that you can put on the back of your phone. So say you're in Target and the girl is working your register, you about to check out, hey, do you listen to hip hop music? Oh, I do. I love hip hop music. You listen more so on Apple or Spotify? I'm a recording artist. I'm FLAMESPITTA804, and I just want you just to take a test drive of my music. Let me know if you like it. I can just tap the back of your phone, and you can access my profile on Spotify and Apple. Popple allows you to give people access to all of your contact information, and you can place a little device that's the size of a quarter on the back of your phone. So Popl, have your
I got it. POP.
yeah. Have your partner look at that and have her look at that. But Popple is super dope. We've been working with Popple for a long time. But you can wear bracelets. You can put a device on the back of your phone where people can just tap on it. And they even have rings. And when they tap on it on their phone, your whole contact card pop up. We're in the age of technology, man. And all that stuff pops right up. Because here's the thing. One of the things about the All Money's Legal podcast is that we give out tips on things you need regarding to make your brand stand out, regarding, contacting people and getting people your information in real time. Because at the end of the day, you want to be accessible, you want to market smarter and not harder. Real talk. You feel me?
Gotcha.
Definitely. So check them out. And the reason I say it because I was talking to some artists a couple of weeks ago and said, hey, listen, if you save $3,000, right, and you go to one of the dopest parks in your area, and you get a local food truck, you tell the local food truck, man, listen, I want to give you $1,000, and I'm going to be giving out free meals to all single mothers and the kids because I want them to come out, and college students, I want them to come out to this show. And if you can match me half, I'll put up $1,000 right now for you to match me on the food, so we can put up maybe $2,000 worth of food I'm gonna give out. Then you take the other money and you run a commercial on local TV. Then you take a little bread and tell a local newspaper, which we help write that up, press release, and say, I want y'all to come out. And you run a small ad. Then you go, you put on your own concert and you sit. And think about when people say, "Damn, I seen your commercial face, brother. Giving out free food and you give out some backpacks to the kids and you perform it live at such and such part." All of a sudden now, everybody know your name. And when people get there, they got to scan the information in on your Popple code. So now you're going to get it. So what I'm saying is that with the All Money's Legal podcast, what we teach and what we show people is how to organically build your own. Because I've seen artists save up money to go open up for Trey Songz, open up for Tory Lanez, open up for a lot of people. And I always ask them, what did you gain from that?
Right.
So that's what I was saying. That's what I was telling you. Like, one thing about working with us and being on this podcast, like All Money's Legal, you're going to get clear inside tips for FLAMESPITTA on how to connect with your core. Because every time you walk out that door, you are a billboard. So you got to move like that. How you look, your braids done right, your breath smell good, you looking straight, you in the gym, you doing your crunches. You got your own branded clothing, even making relationships with local branded clothing companies and saying, listen, I want to wear your clothing on my Instagram page. I'm willing to pay for it. If you work out a discount with them. Hey, listen, man, you advertise my clothes, I'll give you 30% off my clothes. I was just talking to an artist about it today. And I'm not going to call his name out, but his artwork on his page, he was just using a white t-shirt, some J's. I said, bro, don't put a white t-shirt up. Wear a branded t-shirt or wear something from a local clothing designer and make that relationship. I like to say this for FLAMESPITTA804. Whether you're an LLC or you're Inc., there's a clothing line, there's your TV film division, there's your music publishing, making sure all your music is registered properly. And when I say registered properly, not just with BMI, with ASCAP, making sure you register with CSAT, making sure that you have your ISNI number. Write that down. ISNI number.
ISNI.
ISNI number. Yeah.
Got it.
And you can Google that, register for that. Anytime you do a record, that record gets its own ISRC code, number one. Always get your own ISRC code. And you can go to isrc.com and do that. So
Okay.
when you do get, and the reason why you want your own codes, because you control that code. You control that data. That's why people buy their own codes. Companies will give you free code, these distribution, they'll give you free, but when you buy your own code, that is your code. So you know exactly what's going on with that. You know exactly where everything is played at. Remember, that code is used to track every time your music is played on streaming and on radio. So if you buy it, then you know exactly where it's been. Somebody else give it to you, it could be a little bit different. So just giving you a heads up on that. Number two, one of the things you also want to do with your marketing and brand is, like, you spend the money with us, when you get your tax ID number and you set up your LLC, there's a company I want you to look at if you have it. It's called Ameroy. Ameroy. Got it? Ameroy.
Got it.
Lawyer. Ameroy. Ameroy. Ameroy is a great company. Have your partner look at that. You can set up your own LLC. The lawyers will set it up for you. They will mail you out your articles. They'll set you up your LLC in any state. And they advise you. You can set up LLCs for $150. But the thing about it is, everything you're doing is a write-off. And you need all the write-offs as possible because you're not generating income. So even the money you're spending with us, that's a write-off. So when you file your taxes with your regular job and you got your LLC, now you can use that so you could pay in less taxes and get that credit. So now you'll get some of that money back. So if you got to pay out $3,000, they're going to take the $3,000 minus your company. You lost $3,000 on that. Now they're going to make it where you offset that. So really, it's real important for you to start moving like that. And we'll help you with that as well in Dream Hustle when you purchase it. We help you get, and tax ID numbers are free. You know what I'm saying? All right, so when you think about your company, I told you this in the video, create your own Instagram account for your company and use that Instagram account to comment and share your content. Right now, you're at the beginning stages of what could be a multi-million-dollar brand. What is something you feel you can create, or that you want to create, that you feel will connect with people? Is it more clothing? Is it more movies? Like, what do you feel product-wise that you can create and generate a second line of revenue for yourself?
In my opinion, I think it's going to be
talk up a little louder if you can.
In my opinion, I think it's going to be movies and in the books, like the books that I'm going to write. I think that's going to really people up and it's going to surprise a lot of people. Things, the information that's going to be in the books that I write and how I'm coming.
What type of books?
They're nonfiction.
They're great. They're great. Nonfiction books are great. I want to ask you this. When you think about your business and legacy, I don't know if you have kids, but when you think about legacy, right? What's your definition of legacy?
My definition of legacy is how you're defined once you're gone. How, like, what you left behind so that people can say, you know, he did this or she did that. And this is a testament of their character and the kind of person that they were. So the things that you did while you were here, while you were living, that is all a part of your legacy. If you have kids, they're a part of your legacy. So that's basically my definition of it.
Why I ask that question is because when you're gone, they always say that the cement is dry. You can't do anything else when you're dead, when you're gone. You know, you have to do everything now. Everything you create, and I said this to you, Flame, in your visual brand overview analysis. Everything you create, everything you do is tied to your future legacy. One thing about radio pushers, all of our podcasts, all of our visuals, all of the things we've created, we wanted to make sure I could die today and somebody could still work with radio pushers. That was always the goal. That was always the methodology, because we wanted it to be a situation where a kid could wake up and say, I want to learn about how to be in the music business. And then I want to work with a reputable company. And then here we are. So I say all that to say this, Flame, is that with your particular name, what, in your opinion, what are you basing? Like, what's the fuel for you to create a legacy? I mean, I guess that'll be the biggest part of it. And so he can, you know, just so you can have something that will last forever when it comes to your music, your movies, your film, all of that, you know? Because at the end of the day, it's going to be a situation where your name has to resonate with people forever, which is deep. So how are you preparing yourself to create a legacy? I guess that's the biggest thing that we can really discuss is that part. Because, creating a legacy is so difficult, but it can be done. And that's why I think it's important that,
Definitely.
it's so important for that. People, right now, you are locked into the All Money is Legal podcast. Right now, we are speaking with FLAMESPITTA804, FLAMES. FLAMESPITTA804 is one of the most innovative minds in the culture. And we're talking to him right now about legacy. FLAMESPITTA, when you think about legacy, we spoke about what your definition, how you define it. But what are you doing to ensure that your legacy will be recognized throughout the world?
The main thing and the most important thing is what I'm teaching to my kids, the lessons I'm giving them, the knowledge I'm giving them, and then also making sure that it's important that they realize if you have knowledge and then you're not using it, it's a waste. You have to apply that knowledge that you're giving, that I'm giving you, to your life, and then it's wisdom. That's when it becomes wisdom. And so that's the main thing, because my children are going to be a direct reflection of me, who I am, and then their children are going to be a direct, reflection of that. So that's the main thing. As far as an artist, though, I think I've always been doing that. Like, I've always been woke. I've always been fighting for like injustice. I always spoke up for my people. I've gone to rallies. I've done a lot of things. So it's like my whole life kind of reflects my legacy when you go back and you look at it in totality.
Definitely. How has fatherhood adjusted your life?
In a lot of ways, so many ways I can't even count. It has definitely affected the relationships with my kids. They would be stronger than they are, or that I would have liked them to be over the years. Because like I said, I was gone a lot. I've done a lot of time in prisons and jails, running the streets and getting in trouble and doing a lot of nonsense. So yeah, doing music, it definitely like affects those relationships, but it strengthens it at the same time, because it's showing my children that I'm gonna pursue my dreams. Like, I'm not going to take no for an answer, and I'm not gonna give up or quit. And so I think that them seeing me do that, it's inspiring to them.
No doubt about it. We got the No Way Out podcast we're going to interview you on so you can talk about the whole criminal justice system. I want to get your thoughts on that for sure. We can lock in that tomorrow with the No Way Out podcast. In conclusion, I want to talk about this. You have sacrificed a lot, man, to be in this game. I mean, you've worked very hard, Flame, and I respect you on that. Is there a plan B for you, or does music have to work? Or are you running your life like, if it don't work, I can still keep this 9 to 5? Like, tell me the real, no cap.
Well, definitely not, because I'm wise enough to know that you need multiple streams of income regardless of what you're doing, whether you're trying to be an artist or whether you're just working a regular 9 to 5. And people saying that, because if you're working a regular 9 to 5, the ends is not meeting. So, at the end of the day, I just look at it like that.
Definitely. What have you enjoyed the most about being on the All Money's Legal podcast today, fam?
Man, the information I received, the energy I've been learning a lot, just listening to you put me on the game. A lot of these things are going to be transformative for my career once I apply them. So that's been the main thing. But having access to, like you say, the many listeners that y'all do have, I'm excited about, the songs about to be on the radio being aired. Like, I'm ready to go. I've been ready to go. It's like everything that is presented by radio pushers is what I need. So if you ain't rocking with radio pushers, man, you're not rocking.
And give out your Instagram handle, man, so people can follow you on IG.
Yeah, FLAMESPITTA804, and that's FLAMESPITTA804. That's Instagram, that's TikTok, that's Twitter, and you can find my music on all streaming media platforms.
All right, man, y'all know what it is. It's my brother FLAMESPITTA804, FLAMESPITTA804 on the All Money Legal podcast. 804 embraces the unknown en route to greatness. That's the name of the podcast. It will be up and available this week on all platforms. And y'all make sure y'all follow All Money is Legal on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, rate us. You can also donate. You donate as little as $10 to our podcast. Remember, every dollar that you donate to us goes toward us helping create dopeness and support independent artists as well. So artists and regular people can donate. All you got to do is just click on the inside of our podcast, and there's a donation button right there. FLAMESPITTA804, thank you for being on the podcast, my brother. Peace and love. Tomorrow we'll be on our No Way Out podcast tomorrow.
Thank you for having me, man. Y'all check out that Automatic featuring
Don't forget,
PBETO for sure.
Yeah, don't forget, Flame, to hit that red button when you leave, man.
I got you, man. Peace.
Peace. Let's get it.